So, good evening, everyone. We've officially started. The session is on recording, and please, I urge everybody to. We've been growing, we've been maturing. Just try to keep mute as soon as possible. We'll be done, and you'll have your time. Okay. Can you see my screen?
No, Mr. Charles.
Okay. Okay, let me reshare. Yeah, the network is a bit dull today, so that's why it's taking time to share. So well. I'm sharing, but it's like it's not coming up. So just give us time.
It's showing now. It's showing.
Okay.
It's up.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Like I said, we're going to understand stakeholder analysis. We use stakeholder analysis to identify stakeholders and understand their expectation within a project. So, this stakeholder analysis is a critical step in project management that involves identifying individuals, groups, or organizations affected by the project and assessing their need, interest, and influence. This analysis enables project managers and team members to better understanding the expectation of each stakeholders and plan for effective engagement, communication, and conflict resolution throughout the project life cycle. So that is why it's important to perform a stakeholder analysis, because we have different stakeholders. You've known the stakeholders, but stakeholders have levels of, and you have to engage them based on their levels. You have stakeholders that are very influential. We have stakeholders that are not influential. We have stakeholders that have got high interest in the project. We have stakeholders that have got low interest in the project. So you cannot treat them with the same hand. The way you treat stakeholder A might not be the way you treat stakeholder B. If you treat them with the same approach, you might get a negative result. So it's very, very important. And mind you that stakeholder is a big fabric in the project. You cannot do without them. So you have to start liking them if you want your project to be a success. These are the people that controls everything, have interest. Everything about the project is all about stakeholders. So you must understand them very well and treat them with peculiarities. And this is why we are here to understand how do we conduct this analysis. You have to conduct the analysis by first identifying them. You know, why it's good to do this? Some of you might say, well, in the project charter, we've already captured the stakeholders. In the project brief, we've captured the stakeholders. We've done project charter, we've done project brief. Do you remember that I told you that every project must not have a project charter? And what if the project does not have a project charter? You know, so you have to start identifying the stakeholders even before you start, you know, buying them in, convincing them that people need to go back and create a project charter. What if the projects do not have a documented project brief? Even if you've captured it and document them, you might not have known the stakeholders thoroughly. You might not know them very well. You might just see a list of stakeholders. That is not enough. That you have a list of stakeholders is not enough that you know what to do with that list of stakeholders. You need to build a communication document, communication map on how to interact with all of them, understand where they belong to. Having the list of them doesn't show you their level of interest. Having the list of them does not show you their level of influence. But during the stakeholder analysis, you identify them, identify their level of interest, identify their level of influence, that is power. And by the time you do this, you identify all this, then you create a communication strategy, communication action plan. This is document you have to use all the time. So try to read stakeholders, understand every stakeholder. During conflict resolution, your understanding of the stakeholders will determine the way you approach a particular stakeholder. Okay, let's first understand, like generally, in a general term or generic term, who are the stakeholders in an organization. We have to first understand organizational stakeholders before we can understand project stakeholders. Because we have organizational stakeholders, we have project stakeholders. Everybody within the organization is not a stakeholder in your project. So don't make mistake of seeing everybody in the organization as being a stakeholder in your project. So don't do that. So that's why let's take it one by one, and then we'll drill down to the specific stakeholders we are looking for. Now, in this diagram, you see examples of stakeholders of an organization. If you come to an organization, this is the kind of so this is the kind of stakeholders we have in our organization. Number one is the employees. In the organization, all the employees are stakeholders. We have senior executives, we have shareholders, we have customers, we have suppliers or contractors, we have end users, we have families of employees. For instance, if you are working with MTN, or if you are working with CBN, your wife is a stakeholder in MTN or CBN. You know why? When your wife put to bed, they give you a paternity leave to go look after your wife because he's their stakeholder. Can you see that? If you have not been receiving paternity leave whenever your wife put to bed, then your organization is cheating you because they should be giving you paternity leave to go look after your wife. So, means that your wife is a stakeholder in that company, that is families, and the newborn baby as well. You can see that your child is equally a stakeholder because you are looking after your wife and your child. So that is why they are stakeholders. And if anything happened to you, they are the people to look after, to look for, sorry. So that is why they are stakeholders. Then we have investors, we have lenders, we have partners, we have unions and regulators like local authority, local council like Abuja Municipal Council. These are local authority, these are regulators. We have union like labor union and the rest of them. We have community groups like Ijo Youth and so on. We have the media like Vanguard newspaper or Sun newspaper, Channel TV. All these people are media. They talk about our businesses. If you don't have good relationship with them, they can talk about you in a very bad image. And then we have government, different types of governments. Governments are big stakeholders as well to organizations, because if you don't comply to their rules, regulations, you get caught, you know. So these are stakeholders. But when we are starting a project, all these people are not automatically stakeholders in our project. So let's get down to project stakeholders. This is organizational stakeholders. Then if you come to project stakeholders, this is how the chart look like. Looking at this diagram, we have the leader, the project leader. The project leader is not the project sponsor. He's the sponsor. Everybody is working for him, both the project manager, but the leader, who is the captain, the driver in that bus, is the leader. The driver in that aeroplane is, as long as it doesn't matter that the aeroplane is owned by the British Airways, whoever is the pilot at that moment is the leader of that flight. He decides what goes in and what goes out. He decides when that flight will land. So the project leader is the project manager. Then we have team members. We have process owners. We have people working on the process. We have customers of the process output. We have suppliers of the process. Then we'll have operations manager, we'll have finance managers, we'll have a procurement manager, we'll have HR, so training manager, we'll have performance manager, we'll have senior executives. So all these people, these are people that you can call project stakeholders. That's how they look like. So you need to identify them. That is the number one step. Identify them before anything. So, what is the purpose of project stakeholder analysis? Number one, understand the expectations Identify and understand the need, expectation, and concern of each stakeholder. Every stakeholder, you must understand their concern in that project. Number two, it helps you to manage their influence. Determine which stakeholder have the most influence on the project and plan to manage their expectation accordingly. You manage every stakeholder according to their influence. Some stakeholders, you just carry them along. You don't just inform them about what you are doing. So that's what you need to do with some of them. Then we'll have another thing, another importance of purpose is to enhance communication. Stakeholder analysis will help you to, because during the analysis, you develop a clear communication plan based on interests and need of each stakeholder. And align goals. Ensure that the project objective aligns with key stakeholders' interests, which help in securing their support. I've seen so many scenarios where project managers or business analysts, more especially young ones or those joining the company, they start addressing the wrong stakeholders, giving the wrong stakeholders the right attention. So you have to identify the right people to give them the proper attention. Then you might see a low powered or low influence stakeholder. You start treating a low influence stakeholder like a high influence stakeholder. Some of them might not tell you that, well, I don't possess this kind of influence. They'll just keep calm and be enjoying the attention you are giving to him or her. But it's good to do the analysis, identify them, place them where they are, and respect everybody, even those with low power. That doesn't mean you are not going to respect them, but you know how to channel your energy, your communication, your resources rightly when you know the proper stakeholders and analyze them and put them where they're supposed to be. Okay, look at steps for conducting stakeholder analysis. First, identify stakeholders. List all stakeholders, group or organization that will be affected by the project. At this point, you are just doing identification, writing them down. It's a list. Typical stakeholders include customers, vendors, sponsors, regulators, project team members, and end users. So this will give you a guide to know the kind of people you are looking at, typical stakeholders. Classify stakeholders. Once you identify them, you classify them. Classification means you put them in the right category where they belong. You have different types of stakeholders. So make sure that you classify them, give them the appropriate class. We have high class, we have low class, we have medium class. Make sure you put all the stakeholders where they're supposed to be. So under classification, categorize stakeholders based on their levels of influence and interest in the project. A common classification used is what we call power interest matrix or power interest grid. Either you see power interest matrix or power interest grid, they are the same thing. So, which divides stakeholders into categories. In power interest matrix, this is how it looks like, is a 4-box grid or 4-box matrix. We have high power, we have high interest, we have high power, we have low interest. So in high power, high interest, these are the big boys within the project. They have high power, these are them, high power, and they have high interest. Actively engage and manage them closely, these people. Then we have high power, low interest. Keep satisfied, these people, but don't over communicate. You know, these kind of people are regulators. Like this are where the regulatory bodies come in. I will use local government authority or other regulatory agencies. If you want to build any project, for instance, in local government, you need to get a permit before you can do any PIM. You can see that these people have high power. You can't do anything without them. They don't even know you. They don't even care to know you. No matter how big you are, a big man, or they are not interested. They don't. All you do is satisfy the interest. Go get a permit. If there is a permit required, try to go get the permit. That is the only way you are going to get off their hook. So you see here, they have high power, but in terms of interest in that your project, they don't care. It's not their business, you know. So, and don't even like over communication. You don't need to tell them this and that, or updating them on everything that is happening. In just do what the law says. I'll use another example: health and safety officers in a construction industry. If you know what the health and safety says, you have you need a fire extinguisher, you need access and egress in the site where you are working. Everything that the health and safety requires, make sure that you comply with the health and safety rule in that construction industry. That way, you are going to get off their hook. But if your health and safety officer comes and find out that the fire extinguisher you are displaying is empty or have expired, they can close the site for a long time. And once the site is closed, you know, it's going to start affecting your timeline, and a lot of things will start happening. So this is what you need to do when you are dealing with this kind of people. Then we'll have some other stakeholders here. They have low power, but they have high interest. Low power, high interest. Keep them informed, consult them regularly. The critical example of people with low power and high interest are the people working within the process. Example is that if you are implementing a CRM system for an organization, there are people that are going to use that CRM system. Those people that are going to be using it for their daily work are people like sales reps. Those people, they don't have that kind of power. In a project, they are low-powered people, but their interest is very high. Why is their interest very high? Because this is what they are going to be using. So many of them might need to be upskilled in order to use that tool or that technology to do their work. This is why they have their curiosity. They want to know everything. Is it time for us to start training? Are they going to start sacking some people that don't have the skills to use this? You see them, they want to know. Their interest is high because a lot of things are going on in their head. They might lose their job. This digital transformation, do I need to take a boot camp? You know, these are some of the things they are. So in a situation like this, they will be constantly looking for information to know. So update them, keep them informed about what's going on, because this is, you are developing this for them. They are going to be the end users of that particular solution or product. So then we have another stakeholders. These stakeholders here is, you see them here, low power. They don't have power. Even a single, they don't have power. And again, you see, they don't have power and they don't even have interest. You'll be wondering, and then you'll wonder, what kind of stakeholders are they? Don't even have power, they don't even have interest. These people, you have to monitor them, but communicate minimally. I'll give you critical example of these people. If you come to so many projects, both construction projects, both digital projects, we have people like that. In construction project, let me use a building project or real estate project. If you come there, you are going to see a lot of technicians. You are going to see a lot of electricians. You are going to see a lot of plumbers, bricklayers doing their jobs. These people, they don't have any power. They have no power to stop that project or to, they don't have such power. They are low power. Okay, you might say they have interest because they get paid. Okay, let's evaluate their level of interest. What interest? Interest is to make sure that that project is delivered on budget and on time. That is the right interest in that project. But you find out that these people don't have that kind of interest. If the project is meant to last for 6 months, they want that project. If there's anything they can do to derail that project so that the project will last for 1 year, that is what they are looking for. But you know that if such a thing happens, you as a project manager is a calamity on your head. That a project that is lasting for 6 months is now lasting for 1 year. But this is what this kind of people want, these operatives. Why? Because they want a place to work. If they are hearing that the project is coming to an end, they are not going to be happy because they are going to be out of work. So if anything they need to do to delay the project, they will do it. I've worked with so many of them like that. More especially these plumbers and the electricians. Electricians, they are the worst. They will go for fag break up to, any little drill, they'll just go for fag break. Fag break is what we call fag break is a smoking break. They can go for fag break 10 times. They've not done anything. They keep on going for fag break. The next thing you know is they've carried their bag. The work is closed. If you evaluate what they've done, you find out they've not really achieved anything for the day. And they keep on going for fag break. From fag break, they'll tell her, task man, see you tomorrow. They carry their bag and go. If you are not a smart project manager, these people are going to delay your project. They keep on delaying your project. And these people, we have them in digital project as well. I've worked with so many developers. You see all these developers, they are freelancers. They have so many clients they are working for. If you are not on their neck, they will abandon your work. That is it. Is that an interest? So whoever pays the highest pay is what they are following. They don't care. They don't even know what to do. All they want is money. So these people, you need to monitor them. Monitor them and make sure they do their work. So they have low power and they don't even have interest. All they want is that they have a place to go to work. So this is just a kind of people who have to monitor. But if you don't have a stakeholder analysis document, you wouldn't be able to know how to place these people and engage them. So they say classify stakeholders. Then the next is to analyze stakeholders. So analyze expectation and influence, just what I've just explained. For each stakeholder, assess their expectation, potential concern, and the influence they wield on the project. This will help in prioritizing stakeholders and identifying strategies for engagement. So, and once you have identified strategies for engagement, the next thing is to develop a communication action plan, engagement plan. You need a plan on how to manage them. You need to understand when to talk to stakeholders. You need to understand how to talk to stakeholders. You need to understand the manner you talk to stakeholders. For instance, some stakeholders, you talk to them once every week. All they want, like the project, maybe senior managers or sponsors, they don't want you to be coming to them every day to be disturbing them. All they want is at the end of the week, you come and give weekly updates. Call it weekly status reports or weekly status update or weekly progress reports. You come and give reports. You need to write a report. Some people will want you to write a report and send it to them. Some people will just want you to come and brief them what is going on. And after briefing them, you then give reports. So some people will want you to communicate them by email. You send them email of the report. Some people will want you to talk to them over the phone. So you have to identify what do they want. That means tailor a communication plan to manage each stakeholder group effectively. If those people that want telephone, then in the communication plan, identify that they need telephone call at this point. For those who want a report via email, you capture that the method of communication is email. Then how frequently do you need to do that? You capture maybe once every month, maybe once every week, or every day. You have to capture when you need to communicate with them. And who is communicating? Is it that is the business analyst need to send their report, or should they send their report to you before? How do you, whose responsibility to communicate to a stakeholder? You must know that. Means that not everybody will going to talk to the project sponsor. You must identify whose responsibility or accountability. So define the frequency and content of communication based on their need and influence. So this is how we've identified how you manage step by step on how to get your stakeholder analysis done. This is what you need to do. So let's look at it from diagram. In diagram, this is number one, brainstorm the individuals and group who may have the stake in the project to sort them by their power and interest, plot them on a power grid matrix for identify the gap between the current and desired involvement level. You need to, over time, you need to identify where you are having gap in your communication, because stakeholder management is not a one-off activity. It's a continuous process till you finish your project. So as the project is progressing, you might find out you start developing gaps in communication with some stakeholders. You have to keep reviewing your stakeholder document to see where the gap exists and then close the gap. So you must identify gaps over time, and then you have to create a plan to manage ongoing communication. Ongoing communication must be maintained. So this is it. And then while identifying them, you can use what we call is a diagram like this is what we call affinity diagram. Affinity diagram is where you can group people in different diagrams or in different groups within a group or within a diagram. So this is affinity diagram. With this affinity diagram, you see you have a group here. This is a project group. This another group of people, senior management. This is another group, process owners. These are people within the process, but all of them are within the process. This is another group of people, other internal stakeholders. These are stakeholders within the company as well, within the organization that have interest in this project. Everybody captured here are people that have got interest. Then we'll have all of them here within the main, this circle are internal stakeholders. And if you look at this, you see some people outside this main diagram. These people are called customers. They are external stakeholders. So you can see people like this. You can even see regulators as external stakeholders. You can. This is where such people appear. So if you want to start identifying stakeholders, you must have created your document or a template where you capture this. So many organizations, they have their templates for doing this. So the templates you'll be going to be using will look like this. You see here, you see stakeholders, you capture their name under this column. It's a very simple document. You can use Excel document to create. We'll have a template we're going to share for you to use. This is stakeholders. You add the stakeholders here. This is their position. The position you put here is their position in the organization. For instance, if the stakeholder is Mr. Charles Ugu, you capture Mr. Charles Ugu here. If his position is the CEO, then you capture him as the CEO. Then what his role in the project. If he's the person that is sponsoring the implementation of that application, then you capture him as the project sponsor. Okay, if the person here is Charles Ugu, and this Charles is head of account and finance, the head of HOD finance, then you write Charles, HOD finance. Then if you come to the project, he is the person, that secured the funding for implementation of ERP for finance department. Then he is going to be the project sponsor. When you capture the person here in this column under here power, you capture the level of power this guy have. Of course, because he's a project sponsor, he should have a high power. He's a high powered stakeholder. And again here, the level of awareness, this guy must know everything that happened in this project. Nothing should come to him as a surprise. And again here, this guy, level of interest, he's going to be high interest stakeholder because this project is his brainchild. He wants this project to succeed. Then again, supportive. Is he supporting you? It's up to you to know if he's supporting you. If he's not supporting you, start packing your bag because you are losing your job. But if he's supporting you, then you are accelerating. You are in good condition. But the point here is to help you understand the level of support, whether you are supporting. This is where you have to decide if you have a gap. Over time, what you'll be checking is the level of support you are receiving from every stakeholder. If you are the level of support you are receiving from high level high-powered, high-interest stakeholders are poor, then you need to work hard to make sure you secure the right support, because your project might be in bad shape. That's why they are not happy with you, or maybe they don't like you. I'm just joking. There's no reason they will not like you. It's you that will make them not to like you. Okay. That is it. In this is the table, kind of table you are going to be using to capture them. Then let's come down to the metrics, stakeholder power and interest metrics, or power and interest grid. You see here in this diagram, you see it here, we have 4 boxes containing different stakeholders. And you see here, some of these stakeholders, you see them here. Look at this box very well. You see, if you go this way, they have high power. So we call them, that's why we call them high power. And if you come down, under them is low. So they have high power and they have low interest. So in this, we have power here and we have interest here. So all the people under this table, under these boxes, the boxes below are low-powered people, people that don't have power. All the people on top are people that have high power. Then here you see under interest, we have left, we have right. People in the left are low interest, and people in the right hand are the high interest. You see that these people called in this box called understand. They have high power and they have low interest. These are where some of these regulatory bodies like local government, health and safety officers, and so many of them, this might be where they belong. All you need, you don't need so much talk. Know what you need to do. If it's permit, get a permit. If it's a license, get a license. Do what you need to do to satisfy the law, because so many of them are maybe regulatory officers. So these are, and so many of the occasions, some of them are just external stakeholders. We have some internal stakeholders here who have high power and low interest in their projects. They don't care. They are just doing their work. So these are the kind of people here. The only thing you hear from them, they are doing their work, and they are very important people. So you don't play around with them. They are not even ready for jokes. So keep your jokes, your friendliness, keep it to yourself. So these are the people. Then people like this they are very interested in this project. You see here high interest, and if you see they are on top, so they are high interest and they are high power. This is where the project sponsor belong. They are the people that secure the funding, and they don't want stories. They want this project to succeed at all costs. If you as the project manager and you are the person that will make this, they'll get rid of you instantly. They are not playing. So you have to see here, engage and manage them actively. Actively. You must do what they want. Understand them thoroughly. No jokes. And that's the only way you can survive with this kind of people. Then we'll have here, they are the crowd. They don't send anybody. They just come to the site to take their money. So these are the people here. You see these bricklayers. You see carpenters. You see laborers. You see all of them. They are happy if a project is 6 months, and they find out that I've seen them, they are celebrating. Some of them are, you see them, they tell you, I've been in this site for, that is what they used to brag. I've been in this site for 2 years, you know. When I come here, they tell me just a 6 months project, but we do it. We are here for 2 years. But they are there for 2 years. This is a project that's supposed to last for 6 months, and they are there for 2 years. It means, or do you know what that means? They must have sacked so many project managers in that project. There are so many project managers there must be committing blunders. So, or maybe something happened and they captured more requirements, and so it might not really be their fault. At times they see the stakeholders might want to add more requirements, and they see that the project keep on, moving on and on and on. It must not really be out of gross misconduct. But the point here is that these people, what makes them happy is that they have a job, not actually that you deliver. Because they don't want to see the end of these projects. They just want to be there and be getting their daily bread. It's not only construction people. I told you that developers even does the worst. You might know so many of the developers, you might not see them. If you go to their house, some of them will have like four systems. They might be having meeting with you, and as they're having meeting with you, they are doing their coding in another system. So these are kind of people. They have so many jobs going on. You are not seeing them because they are working from home. And as they are pressurizing them, others are pressurizing them. So they know they might not be able to cope, but they just need the money. They know they cannot finish these 2 jobs. They took 2 different jobs that require their attention. They know they cannot finish them. So they keep telling you, fabricating, because so many of them, they know you are not highly technical. You'll be using a lot of technical jargons to be confusing you. Just because they are not doing your work. So you monitor them. Such people, you have to be hard. You have to stand your feet. That, yes, you have to do this job. Call them on phone. Follow them. At times, monitor. Make sure they are doing their job. Make sure there is no overdue in their deliverables or in their job schedule. So then let's come to the last people called defender. These people called defender, like we said, they might be the people going to use the outcome of. So some of them are anxious to know the outcome of the project. Some of them might be needing upskilling. Some of them might be fear, They might lose their job after the upgrade or things and that. A lot of things going on in their head. So you need to consider them and inform them, carry them along. So this is it. So the kind of document you are going to create is going to look like this. Within your document, you have what we call, this document will help you to address the gap. So as the project is progressing, you are going to capture your relationship, your current relationship with the stakeholders. When you capture your current relationship, or when you review your current relationship, you will know what is going on. Let me give you an example here. This is the current relationship here. Now, with this particular stakeholder, this column, let's say stakeholder occupying this column, here is the level of awareness. Unaware, aware. Is the stakeholder aware of what is going on? Yes, you tick this column. The stakeholder is aware. You communicate. So is the stakeholder interested? What is the level of interest? It's not showing the level of interest requested. And then is the stakeholder supporting? You see all these columns, they are empty. If the stakeholder is supporting you, this is the most important thing here. Supportive. You see, it's empty. So if you see here that the stakeholder is not supporting you because he's empty. So this is the gap. Under this supportive, if this in the current process or in the current relationship between you and your stakeholders, they are not currently supporting you. You know the reason why they are not supporting you. Maybe you have not been doing what you are supposed to do. Then this means you have a work to do. And the work you have to do is, this is the desire, the future relationship, how you want your relationship then will be. You come here, you really want their support. You have to work hard to make sure that you secure their support. And that is how you'll be managing every stakeholder one by one within the project. And then in this particular column, this is another table. This is stakeholder. You need to capture the communication method. This is the stakeholder. This is their contact information. And this is the method of communication. You have to capture stakeholders' name and their contact information. If this whether is a phone, you capture contact information, or to their email, you capture it here. What method do they want? Do they want telephone communication? You capture the method of communication as telephone, or method of communication as email. Whom's responsibility to communicate this particular stakeholder? If it's business analyst, that business analysts need to submit their report on this, then, or you, the project manager, you need to submit weekly report, you capture it here. Then, how often? Is it monthly? Is it daily? Is it weekly? For instance, weekly update reports or progress reports should be on, sorry guys. Cool. So this weekly update report should be done every week. And every time you submit report, you must capture feedback. So all the feedback from your communication with the stakeholders, you capture it here. So this is the document we are going to use. Like, this is what I've been explaining. If you look at this document, you see this is an involvement planning worksheet, which I've explained. This is the current relationship, and this is the desired relationship. And then this is the communication action worksheet. This is a method of communication, whom to communicate, how often, phone, email, and feedback log. So this is how it's going to be. So let's look at this document in real time. This document here, which will help you to conduct a proper stakeholder analysis. We'll have it here, and that's the stakeholder analysis document. This is how we're going to use. This is it. This is my own. I've been using it for quite a long time, and I'll be giving out to students to use. Can use it for your personal, even if in your office you want to use it. This is a very powerful document, you know. So I'll be sharing it around for my organization, people I work with, my students. It's very help you to capture your stakeholders very well. So here you see under here, I can see who is the stakeholder here, and stakeholder here is Charles Google, and position here is finance manager. For some of you who might be saying finance, I have a BSc in banking and finance, and I have master's degree in information management and finance. So I have the power to be a finance manager, you know. So it's not only IT. So I'm a finance manager with all my qualifications. So in this project is but in this I secure the funding for ERP for nearest.com. So having been the finance manager, I secure funding. So I'm the project sponsor. Sorry. And as the project sponsor, what you see have drop down here, select the level of power. Of course, I've got high power, you know. As the project sponsor, the level of awareness, I should be aware of everything that's going on. But if you keep me in the dark of what's going on, then you are packing your bag the next day. The level of interest, I should be interested in everything that's going on. But if my level of interest drops, you're in trouble. Supportive, yes, I'll be ready to support in any way. But if you are not updating me on what's going on, you earn my support. You don't just get my support. You work hard to earn my support. So that's it. But if I'm not happy, so this is how what is supposed to be. This is the standard relationship between you and Charles. This is the way it should look like. Anything short of this, as a project manager in this project, of course, yes, I'm sure I will show you the back of the door, you know. So coming here, you are a young project manager, and we just hired you in nearest.com, the biggest social media in Africa. So here is you to tell yourself the truth. Like some of us in our project now, what is your level of relationship with me? I'm asking you, all of you are project managers. So this will help you to solve problems. Okay. If you are sincere with yourself, is Charles aware of what you are doing? This is where what you support. Is Charles aware? Of course, Charles is aware. You're being sincere. So this is, then if Charles is unaware, this is support. Is select that Charles is unaware. But if Charles is aware, you update Charles with everything you do, you select here. That is how you are now trying to carry out. At this point, what you are doing is gap analysis. You are trying to analyze the gap between you and your stakeholder to see where you need to improve. The level of interest displayed so far is top-notch. Good. And here, supportive. It means you are in a good hand, everything is working, and it means your project is in a very good state. Going forward, you want just to continue to be aware that is a desired state. Everything, you have to maintain this, and the level of support need to be the way it is. And that's it. So here is other this thing, communication plan. You need to capture communication plan here. This is communication plan. You see it, communication action. This is another area. So here you need to capture the method of communication between you and Charles. All of you know that in this our boot camp, we communicate via WhatsApp, but in most companies, WhatsApp communication is not allowed in order to track your communication with your managers. So now you see, I have to say method of communication is email. That's how you communicate with Charles. The responsibility of who? Project manager, who communicates with the project sponsor. And frequency is 1 week. And my phone, good to have my phone, but you don't have anything to do with my phone because I don't want you to call me. You know, I don't want project people to call me. If you want anything you want to do with me, send me email. My phone is for my wife and my children alone. Don't call my phone. That's how a lot of them are. You don't call them. So, and then you capture the email because the method of communication is email. And then feedback. Here, whatever based on the report or every communication, you capture a feedback log. Anytime you communicate, capture a feedback log here. So maybe if after I say, yeah, good, carry on to the next stage, you come here into deliverable, you are asked to move to the next stage, and that is it. You have to be capturing feedback log to know, so that everything will be in one document, and this will help you to. So if you have 50 stakeholders, you can use this to analyze them differently. For instance, say if you don't have good support from me, during the you don't have good support for me during the your analysis, don't come here and say you are getting my support. Put it like this. So this is the current state, and there is no good support. No, Mr. Charles is not being supportive. It's always, according to you, Mr. Charles is always picking on you. Sometimes Mr. Charles will not even respond to your email. You don't know it, you know, since according to you, that's what will be running in your head. This man don't like me. I don't know, since I come to this company as a project manager, he never liked me. That's what, but you are here to work, and Mr. Charles is here to work with you. So find out what is the problem. The problem may be you are not doing what you are supposed to do, or you don't send your email when the Mr. Charles wants it, or when you have meeting, Charles doesn't know what you are doing, or maybe here unaware, Charles is not aware of what you are doing. The level of awareness here is Charles is supposed to be aware of everything you are doing, but Charles, so you should have selected this. Charles is not aware. Be sincere to yourself. And when looking at this, you find out there is gap here. Charles is not aware, to be honest with you. You've not been sending their reports as when due. and maybe that's why it's not getting full support. So that is it. When you have something like this, then it means you have a gap in your communication with the stakeholders. You have to work hard to improve your communication so that everything will be within the desired state, which is constantly enjoying support from your stakeholders. So this document will be attached with the other lecture notes and the boot camp for you to download and use the way you want. And yeah, that is stakeholder analysis and documents to create stakeholder analysis step by step on how to do stakeholder analysis. And by now, you should be able to, do a very good stakeholder analysis. And this example here is stakeholder analysis for food tracker expansion project. So captured stakeholders here, and this will help you to play around. Use this thing and from information I'm leaving here in this lecture notes, from here, this food tracker stakeholder analysis, get this document and use it to create a proper stakeholder analysis or make it more professional. You can see that it doesn't look good here. You see, what I use here is just normal table. I want you to move this information here from this stakeholder analysis table for this food tracker project. So move this information to this our stakeholder analysis document, and that is our work. So I'm sorry for those who have not submitted the other work. More work are coming. So, Mr. E.O. Donko, I can see you are really are you following?
Yeah, I'm following. It's just that my time differences is making me stay behind. But yeah, I'm following.
Where are you located?
I'm in Western Canada.
Okay. Don't worry. This is sacrifice. If you have not tested the fruits of being a tech guy, you need to be there so you can start intimidating people when you go to club.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. That's it. If you have any question, good. I'm ready to take questions. And it's Friday, man. Good. So that is it. We are stopping here for tonight. And yeah, that's a professional way to carry out a stakeholder analysis, and everything will fall in place. So yeah. Joy Iboya. Yeah, Joy, you're raising your hand. So let me pick from okay. I'll see Joy. Okay. Before we start, this is supposed to end by 10 p.m. Once it's 10 p.m., you are ready to leave. If you want to leave, if you want to stay back, I'll try to answer more questions if more hands are raised. That's fine. So we've closed the session. All we just do now is interaction. Let me respond to some of your questions before we go to bed. Okay, Chigozie Ezani.
Hello, sir. Thank you very much for the lectures. I'm getting a lot.
You know, I told you if you want to talk in my class, you need to put yourself on. Your camera needs to be on. You have to learn how to do that.
Oh,
that is the standard. We have to start learning.
Okay.
How to
Next
do the right thing.
Okay, so I didn't know about that.
So if you are wearing boxers, yeah.
Okay, next time, sir.
All right, carry on.
So the last thing you talked about, the roles. I don't know
I don't know what you're talking about. Last thing.
the last slide about
What you should have
stakeholders
known.
analysis.
No. You must, when you want to talk professionally.
Okay. The last slide talked about the roles of stakeholders, different stakeholders.
Yeah.
So I just want to know the app, what you use to generate it. Like the other one was draw.io. We used to get the WBS.
Mm-hmm.
Then this particular one, is the Excel?
Which you see
The last slide. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. How to impute the
that is a spreadsheet,
Okay.
you know. But the only thing is that I got it formatted.
Oh, okay.
So it's a simple this. I'm going to share the template. You can use it anyhow you want to use it.
Okay.
So it's spreadsheet, or let's call it Excel, but it's just that it's formatted. If you know how to use spreadsheet very well, it's a very powerful document. You can format it to be anyhow you want it. But how to use spreadsheet or how to use Word document is out of scope of this program. This is an executive leadership program. We've gone past that stage. So I'm not here to teach you how to use Excel or how to use PowerPoint.
Okay, no, we've
All
passed
I
that.
just you present your work in PowerPoint. How you get it presented is not my business.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. That's my question. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, good.
You explain everything very well. There is no much question.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Mr. Rufus Chinedu.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for the lectures. So I just have one question. So concerning, there was an Excel format you used to, a tabular form you used to show the level of power and interest for the stakeholders. So I wanted to know, as a project manager, when you use analysis, is it something that's meant for consumption, or you have to at some point show it to the stakeholders, both maybe those that have high interest, high power, low interest, low power, high interest, low, any of these things, stakeholders involved? Is this something you need to show them at any point in time, or all of this stakeholder analysis is mainly for the consumption of the project manager? That's my question, sir.
Well, this is for your consumption. This is what will help you to manage your stakeholders very well. Even if the stakeholders don't have any sight of what is going on. But in some cases, If there is a gross misconduct, they might even query your credibility. You see, maybe you have senior project managers or have a program managers. They might even request for you to submit your stakeholder management document to make sure that you actually doing the right thing. If you do not have this, you know that would be big embarrassment for you. So this will be the first thing you create. So
yes, sir.
And is a very important document.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you. Easiness payment. Okay. Okay, Mr. Payment is not here. I can hear you, Mr. Payment. It's like that. It's like we're having network challenges. I think your network is your network is not good. Sorry about that. But your camera is showing very well. So I don't know why your audio is not being captured very well. Okay, just wait. Let's carry on. We might come back to you. Okay. EO Donko, you raising your hand.
Yeah, so I have a question.
Okay.
So for the stakeholder analysis table, do you keep updating as people interest changes? Let's say, for instance, initially you had a high interest, and then in the middle of the project you had a low interest. Do I have to like update it, or I just have to put it on the remarks?
Okay. You see the high interest and low interest at the beginning is just for you to identify where to classify them. You must identify a stakeholder with high interest. It doesn't change. That's his status in that project.
Okay.
But if he has high interest and all of a sudden he's not showing interest in that project again, what does that mean? You are in trouble. You know, that is when during stakeholder analysis, you equally need to analyze their level of interest. Are they still interested? Do they show interest? If you request for them for a meeting, do they honor your meeting? Or do they just ignore your meeting? Or when you send the report, do they give feedback on your report? This will help you to know if they are still interested. Of course, you should know that they should always be interested. Their interest should be high at all times because that is their status. But when somebody who is supposed to be having, for instance, your girlfriend is supposed to be interested in you at all times. True or false?
True.
But over time, whenever you call your girlfriend, it started.
Depending on the project.
No experience.
Yeah, so whenever you call your girlfriend, we keep on telling you, I'm busy, I'm in the market, I'm doing my hair, I cannot come this weekend. But he used to come all the weekend to prepare, nsala soup for you. But this time it's all about stories. Then you know that there is trouble.
Yes.
You should start packing your bag because that relationship is getting over. So that is how your relationship with your stakeholders should be. Somebody that should have high interest, and all of a sudden there is so much stories. It's always, that is it.
Thank you.
All right. We have Evie Quinette.
Good evening, Mr. Sharks.
Good
Thank you so
evening.
much for all the explanation. I
Okay.
just have a little question. My question is, at what stage of the project is the stakeholders analysis most needed by the project manager? At what stage of the project?
So
Because
this
I
is what
understand that the analysis is an ongoing process, but at what stage of the project does the project manager need this project analysis, this stakeholders analysis the most?
okay. Well, you say you have a little question, but this question is not little. Okay. Stakeholder analysis document or deliverable, you should start it immediately. You look at what happened. We just finished work breakdown structure. If you go to our work breakdown structure, you see that under the initiate stage is one of the things that appear there. It means that it's a top priority deliverable. Have you done the work breakdown structure?
I'm still on it.
You should have done that because you've been so active in our class. So, okay, for those who have done that, when you are doing it, you notice that that is one of the first things we need to do. You cannot do anything in a project without understanding what the stakeholders were. So for you to progress, you need to, so it's number one thing, immediately you do your work breakdown structure. The first thing is to understand the stakeholders and their expectation. And once you start it, it continues, and you continue to manage it, you continue to update it. It's a continuous process till it encompasses all the life cycles. It's a live document that you continue to use till the project comes to an end. Because even in the closure stage, you still need to work with the stakeholders. They are the people that will submit some reports. They are the people that will validate and they sign off the project. So you need them all the time. So, and
Right,
mind
thank you so much.
you that your project team members you are working with on daily basis, they are stakeholders as well. What is stakeholder? Everybody that got a stake, having in one way or the other. So, you see? Okay, we have Stanley Phillips. Stanley Phillips.
Good evening, Mr. Charles.
Good evening.
Well, guess I missed a part of yesterday's class. I was busy, but I will get to it this weekend. Um, According to our today's class, I have a place I'm a little bit confused at. Um, you say high level stakeholders with high power stakeholders with high interest and low power stakeholders with high interest. My question goes like, what if a stakeholder, a low power stakeholder with high interest, is a bit buggy than the one with high power and high interest? How do you handle it?
When you have a stakeholder with high power and low interest.
No, the one with low power and high interest bugging you more than the one with high power and high interest. How do you handle it?
Okay, a stakeholder with low power
Yeah.
and high interest bugging you.
Yes.
No. It means, what it means is like, for instance, you are the project leader and you see people working under you buzzing you. Is it possible?
No buzzing, bugging.
Bugging,
Like,
disturbing you.
yeah, he's more interest over zero.
Okay, if they are disturbing you, maybe they are looking for information. You try to
So how
find
do
out. They are looking for information, and if you give them the information, they are stakeholders. So if they are disturbing you, it means for let me
oh, why not for me?
Anastasia, please. Anastasia, you are fond of I'm going to remove this Anastasia, you guys, because it means that Anastasia is not in this class. Her daughter is just playing around with her phone. So, and I'll remove her. So,
Better.
Mr. Phillips,
Sir.
when a stakeholder is looking for information from you, try to satisfy their curiosity. So once you satisfy their curiosity, they will stop bugging you, you know. So this is the answer. They are stakeholders. They are there for a reason. They need information. Some of them, maybe if they are the end user of the project you are working on, maybe you are developing and implementing an ERP system. They are the people that are going to work on using that ERP system on daily basis. And maybe they need information. They need to know what is going on when the project will come into an end. Is there any training that are going to be provided? Maybe they don't know how to use it. So it depends on what they are looking for you, but they cannot just come and start disturbing you unnecessarily. You don't ignore people, carry everybody along.
And sir, what do I do if my
I've told
worker?
you what to do. You say, what do you do?
No,
Carry
I'm
them
not saying of
along.
yeah. Aside they carrying them along, I mean to the other side, if you like the first stakeholder you're saying, like the workers, the ones that want to prolong a project to go above the timeline, like the carpenters and all these employees that always want to delay a project. If I'm a project manager and find myself in such a situation, what do I do to them? Should I like
Yes, if they
track
are not doing their job, then they get them fired. You monitor their jobs, make sure that they submit their job when they are supposed to submit their job. Their job is not overdue. Their deliverables are not overdue. If their deliverables are becoming overdue constantly,
yeah? So,
What's wrong with this everyone now?
okay, like I was saying, in such a situation, if they are not doing their work, you query them, summon them. You are the project manager, you are the leader. You invite them for disciplinary action. If it continues, you show them the door.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have, as a matter of fact, once we reach the e-sinis payment for tonight, this is where so if, don't raise your hand again. If you're going to raise your hand after e-sinis, better don't, because I'm not going to call you. Okay. We have Chioma Mwanya. Yeah, we can hear you, but it's not your time, it's not your turn yet. Chioma Mwanya.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Charles, thank you for today's class. I have a question, I think a question and a contribution. So, from, I think Mr. EO, he was saying if you have a stakeholder that had high interest at the beginning of the project, and later on, his interest, went downhill, how do you address that? I think from experience and research, I think you, like you mentioned, you said you should stop packing your bag. But I don't think that's right because I think you should rather find out, apply some emotional intelligence and find out what's happening. Maybe something is happening with the stakeholder. Maybe someone's at work or at home or there's something disturbing the person. And then if you try, not like you're going to start feeding every stakeholder. But I think you should show some concern and try to understand, oh, what's happening? You were interested, and or you showed so much enthusiasm, and this is not happening again. And can I know how am I coming, or how am I help, or I noticed something is off? I think that's what you should do first, and that's what you should do. I think.
Well, you didn't understand the question he asked. He said that a stakeholder with high power and high interest, like a high-powered stakeholder, which status or within the project that he's a very high-powered and high-interest stakeholder, but he's not showing interest. It means you are not doing what you are supposed. These are people that you are supposed to be reporting to, like the project's sponsor, who is a high powered and a high interest stakeholder. If all of a sudden they are developing kind of lack of interest in what you are doing, then you should be concerned because they are not reporting to you. For you to go and start showing emotional intelligence or what is, you are talking about if team members working under you, you notice changes, they are no longer active or participating the way they are supposed to do, then of course you have to show emotional intelligence. But when you are boss, you go and start, how do you even, people who don't have so much access, how do you do that? You go and start showing emotional, asking your boss, how are you doing? How do you come in? How? Are you getting me?
Okay, I think maybe there's a mix-up because from what I understood was someone that has high interest and then all of a sudden didn't have high interest anymore. Okay, I didn't get the high power, and maybe I missed the high power part, but I'm just saying,
Okay.
all right, thanks.
Adam Chibu Ikem Emmanuel.
Hello, sir. Good
Good
evening, sir.
evening.
Thank you for obliging me. I must commend your efforts. You're really doing a good job.
Thank you.
Okay, so my question goes this way. Apart from these documents that you introduced to us for stakeholders analysis that you created, is there any alternative app that can help us automate this process and make it more easy?
Well, for now, you do stakeholders. There's not app to do. The application is a Microsoft Excel is an application. You can you see if you go to, you can use any other thing, but I'm telling you, just use simple Excel to capture them. It's not difficult. So let us not be always looking for shorter route. There might not be shorter route. Understand this one, we are doing it. If it's scared that you do not understand it, then tell us where you are struggling and we'll teach you how to do it. So what you should be doing is how to understand to do it very well the way it's being taught to you, not to look for easier escape.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
You're welcome. Then we have Suzanne Roy.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, Susan, please, we're waiting.
Can you hear me?
Sure.
Okay. I'm sorry, sir. I wanted to drag you back to the power interest matrix. I don't know if you can share your screen and explain it again. I wasn't really getting.
I'm not going to go back because we have closed. You can go and rewatch it when it's going, because we are not going to open the app again. The class is already closed. It's already after 10. We're on a grace period.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. You, Israel.
Good evening, Mr. Charles.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your lessons and teachings. What I want to ask basically is not really related to what you've taught us this evening. I just want to ask, like, how can how can we make the best use of what you're teaching us, in this section? What I mean by that is that how can we really get to fully understand what you're teaching us and be on track with you?
What I'm teaching you is I don't know how to, but what I'm teaching you is project management, and to be on track is that to be on track based on what we are teaching. Is it how to use it to get a job, or how to learn it?
How to learn it, like understanding the whole scope, like knowing your onion very well based on your own experience.
Okay.
Like things that helped you to really succeed in the class.
Okay. As you can see, at this point, so many of my colleagues are enjoying themselves this weekend, and I'm here stuck in the class teaching. So you must have passion. The only thing that is keeping me here is the passion. And even it's already 10 o'clock, and I'm still devoting more time to be here, is passion. And for the past 4 years or 5 years, I've been doing this, teaching people with the same energy, the same compassion, and I've been doing it free. It's only this year I've started charging little token. So that is passion. And if tomorrow I can equally say I don't want to collect money again, I can still teach people free with all the energy. So you must have passion for what you are learning. That is what is going to drive you. When others are tired, when you are tired, then what will be driving you, the driving factor will be the passion. You see, footballers, even if they are not getting paid, they will still be playing football. That is passion. But so many of us, once they remove even small salary or you resign, you don't have passion for that. You are just looking for money. I'm not saying that it cannot happen that way, but you want something to sustain you, keep you, everly green in a career. You must have passion for it. The musicians, so many of them, they sing from their soul, from their hearts. When they are singing that music, they don't know that music will hit, a word. That is passion. And once there is passion, you have to start learning. Even if you are not getting it, you have to keep trying it until you get it without, getting burnt out. So that is what I have to tell you. You need to be very passionate about this your tech career. Once you are passionate about your tech career, like you see here, you are here, and so many of you are ready to even be here in the next 2 hours. That is passion. So many of you, they can't take it. They just think they will just jump in here, money will start flowing. Money is not flowing, they become frustrated. But some of you, I have some guy, he was a business analyst. 2 years ago, there were 4 here in UK that I had a class with. And Immediately within the boot camp, one secured a job. Immediately after boot camp, another one secured a job. Then the third one secured job. It's only this one guy, he didn't get a job. He's a very smart guy. Others will come behind him and be telling me that they feel for it. But I know they are just mocking him, and I'll tell them off. But the guy didn't give up. 2 years later, the guy got his first business analysis job. He was very happy that finally, the level of energy he started, he didn't lose any single, momentum, because he didn't get job and others got job. And then 6 months ago, he got his first job. I gave him reference. And within that 6 months, another, like 1 month ago, he came back. He got another mega job in one local government as a senior business analyst. And this is a permanent job and a very high paid job. You know, that is passion. He didn't lose, but some of you would have just thrown away their computer. Well, to hell with tech. So that is my answer to your question.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. And Oluwatoba. Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Charles, and for your patience, and the teaching is very educative. My question is more on the line of, so I have a background in HSE, and communication is a very key component.
Sorry, we are losing your voice. Yeah, we couldn't get you. I think there is a network issue. We couldn't get you very well.
Okay. Mode of communication is best for each stakeholder. My question is regarding how do you keep track if, for instance, you do calls, because that a certain communication was done, and if it's only on your document, then there's no track record. So would it not be advisable to always keep an email? So even if you place a call, you also give an email communication, so there's a track record, or what do you propose, please?
Yeah, like I said from experience, email is a standard of communication. Mostly is email. So we added telephone because some people just, but 99% communication is via email. Are you getting me?
Okay, thank you.
So that in order to have, not only in projects, at workplaces, why email is because email cannot be, you can lose your phone, you can, but email is always there. And you know, companies, they have a way, although their phone, even if anything happened to your phone, the line can still be, you know. But the main thing is email has been the standard. So it keeps every record there forever. You know, some of the email I sent 20 years ago is still there. So email has been the most prominent way for communication. And at times, if you use project management application like monday.com, FreeCamp, so many of them are Asana, Microsoft Teams. These are ways you can keep communication in one place as well with your team. So there are so many other ways, but for now, just know that email is good. Email is the best and the most prominent. So we capture phone number because some stakeholders who don't mind you calling them on phone, but it's not most stakeholders, they will not even want you to call them on phone. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. I think what I get from that is even if you'd use any secondary means of communication,
Email
for your
to,
record keeping, add an email to it. So thank you.
yes, email should be there.
Sure.
Okay, I'll go Cynthia.
Good evening, Mr. Charles.
Good evening.
Please, I have a little question to ask.
I don't want little question. I want a full question.
Yeah, I want to ask question is concerning where you said low power and low interest. And you used programmers as an example when you are explaining it.
Programmers. Okay.
So I'm not asking, like in a situation whereby you contacted or hired a programmer to program something for you, and you have paid the person, like made a deposit to the person, and along the way, the person started playing you or something, like not responding to you or not doing exactly what you guys has an agreement. Then in this situation, what can one do?
That's why you have to use a specific medium to hire authentic programmers, not fraudsters. It means in this case, you hired a fraudster, not a programmer.
And how can you know?
I'm coming. If you use the proper means, like all of you here, most of you here are working in Upwork. If you hire that programmer from Upwork, you know, so many of us like cutting corners and we get ourselves in trouble. If you use Upwork, of course, Upwork will not release the fund, the money to the programmer until you are satisfied. So that has answered your question.
Okay.
Are you waiting for to hear any other thing?
No, thanks for the answer. I'm okay with that.
Okay. Think I've called Choma Maya here. Am I right? Okay, let me call her again. I think Chigozezani have spoken. I think everybody here spoken. And thank you for staying back. And we call it a night. I'm sorry, Mr. Ngozi E. We've passed that level. We've given a vote of thanks. And after vote of
it's not Mr. Ngozi, sir, Mr. Charles. Is a woman. I'm a woman.
I say, Mr. Okay, sorry, Mrs. You are representing your husband now, so.
Mr. Charles, please, can I say something, please?
So if I'm giving, look, let me tell you.
No, it's not a question because you mentioned.
Once I'm giving vote of thanks.
Yes.
After vote of thanks.
Sorry, sir, because after today, I will not hear from you again till next Wednesday. You were saying something about those electricians that were working with you that will normally go for lag break. How do you manage them? How did you manage them? Because that they are smoking break. How will you manage them?
If they are smoking, you have to caution them. That's why they say monitor. You see there, they say monitor. You know, you have to find a way to monitor, make sure that they are doing their work.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't relax. In such when you are working with such people, they say monitor them. Monitor doesn't mean go and relax.
Okay.
Monitor what they are doing. Make sure that they are doing their work. They are doing what they are supposed to do. Check the time they used to do it. You know, you have to talk to them. They stop their fag break. Well, if you are relaxing, they will continue to every 2 minutes they go for fag break.
Okay.
So, and if
Okay.
they don't deliver, you lose their job. They bring another project manager. They continue to go for fag break.
Hmm.
So,
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
all
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
You can see it's getting busy because you have so many deliverables to work on this weekend. So many of you, there's a lot to do. And to be honest with you, if I'm you at this point, I'll take everything serious. All these deliverables, start creating them, know how to do it. And if you know how to do it, as soon as we finish this training, we are going to give out a CV immediately, even before we, although we are going to start a project very soon, but as soon as I finish this training, before even we start business analysis, we'll give out CV templates so you can start trying yourself, at least project coordinator and things like this, because we've already learned something, and before you know it, we've learned a lot that can help you. Once we've done project planning, then you can, you are qualified to become a project coordinator, and before you know it, some of you will start earning in hard currency. So thank you, and
Yes, so
I'll see you very soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Thank
Charles.
you, Mr.
Thank you,
Charles.
Mr. Charles.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great
Thank you.
weekend.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very
Enjoy your
much.
Thank you
weekend.
very much.
Happy
Good
weekend,
night, everyone.
everybody.
Enjoy your weekend.